Hi everyone, this is Pleiadian Star Healer and welcome to this week's Pleiadian Starcast. So this Starcast goes from February 7th to February 14th, the day of love and friendship. So I figured we're going to go with tapping into that kind of energy and seeing what's going on with the relationships energetically leading up to that beautiful, special, advertising, entertainment purposes day, right? Okay, so first we're going to pull from the tarot and see what is the main energy when it comes to relationships, okay, that's leading up to the day of love. Okay, so we have the Hierophant. This is about keeping the faith, counsel, just perhaps like learning more about each other and really trying to understand each other when it comes to like connections and things like that, and really undoing perhaps like old ways of thinking and perhaps being more flexible and really trying to understand people and your relationships and connections with your friends or close loved ones and lovers and boyfriends and girlfriends, really getting to know them on a very deep level. So I do feel like during this week some stuff may come up where it will require you to educate yourself further, be more studious, be more open-minded, be more open-minded to finding out more about what is going on with the people around you, right, in your relationships. So let's find what's the opposing energy for that. And I saw this one, so let's see. Okay, so we have the distorted masculine. So there is just a lot of masculine energy that's going on, that's challenging, just this overall like disbelief, needing to see things before believing, perhaps too much logic and not enough emotion. So there may be issues where perhaps a lot of fighting, competitiveness, aggressiveness, perhaps like feeling disconnected with the people that's in your life, and just feeling like perhaps there's like coldness and not enough connection, like on a deep emotional level. Everything could just be seem too practical for your own taste. But this is asking, with the Hierophant, is asking you to keep the faith, perhaps being a little bit more open-minded, really trying to understand where certain issues are coming from. Okay, so let's see. For the base, like what is the base issue, root issue? I saw this one, so let's see what this is. Okay, so criticism, temper your criticism. So there may be judgments going around, just judging each other back and forth. And we have to keep in mind that also this time we have Mercury retrograde happening, and Mercury is always on some bullshit. So, emotions may be either flying too high, or people may find themselves a little like introverted and not just be willing to open up, where we have the distorted masculine, where there are issues with being vulnerable, there's issues with being transparent, really letting people know how they really feel about the situation and their connection with you. So try to hold off on judgment. The argument can start based on judgment, being too judgmental against the people in your life, or they being judgmental towards you. So this is definitely asking you to just be more wise, because the Hierophant, is a person, a teacher, a person who teaches, and there is some type of wisdom that comes along with being able to teach others, right? So this basically asks you to keep in your wisdom, even when you're being faced with judgments, and to really try to see beyond and what really is going on in the people that you're connected to, and just overall relationships in general, right? So let's see what past energy is happening here. I'm going to go with the relationship deck again. So let's see what past energy is happening. I'm going to go with this one. So let's see. Okay, you see the yin and yang. So there's definitely a call for balance, okay? And things may feel like out of balance maybe before they did. You know, maybe things were feeling okay, but then everything just seems to get shaken up. And, you know, I feel like this definitely Mercury retrograde is not playing this time, especially when it comes to relationships. It's really made things pretty intense. Because if you see here also, you know, you have water and fire. So there needs to be a balance. And, you know, water and fire, they're opposites. And they can put each other out, you know, like, well, water can overcome, you know, fire and just make it into steam, you know. So there's definitely a need for balancing your emotions and making sure that your emotions are coming from a place of love, compassion, and understanding, and not coming out too aggressive and fiery. Because, you know, when we have with the distorted masculine, there can be too much aggression, too much wanting to control, too much wanting power. You know what I'm saying? So definitely there is a need to balance out that fiery nature where you can be passive but in action. And what I mean by that is to be passive in your action, in the sense of you need to think before you act, where you go, you know what, I'm not going to react right now. I really want to understand first what's happening here before I act or before I say anything. Okay? So let's see like 2 paths we can take to heal these kind of like issues that are happening here for this week. So let's see what the first path is. I saw this one, so let's see what this one is. Okay, so meditation, and as we're saying, you know, going within and just like really stepping back and trying to analyze the situation. It may cost for you to having to do meditation, and, you know, and with the yin and yang, you know, having to be able to balance the polarities, you know, the light and shadow of not just yourself, but other people. Understand that other people, they have their own flaws. They're going through their own crap. You know, it's not just about you, you know, even if you do feel victimized and you're like, oh, me, but understand that other people go through their own stuff, even if you don't know about it, even if they haven't told you anything at all. So with the first path of healing, you can meditate to really get grounded and really try to understand what's happening on a more deeper level. And also, you know, if you think of it with the meditation, it can also balance the masculine energies, because I feel like when there's the distorted masculine energy, it's actually for you to bring more in alignment with balancing out the feminine and masculine energies to be more divine than distorted. Okay. So the next path of healing that you can take, I'm going to use the same deck. So let's see what the second path is. I feel like this one. And we have, look at that. We have communication. So definitely being clear and communicating, but communicating obviously from a place of love. Steer away from judgment, okay? And throwing judgment and accusations and all that, because it's not going to help. It's only going to make things worse. I feel like also when it comes to understanding like the deeper issue, understand that perhaps for others that it could be very difficult in the throat area where they can't really communicate and be transparent or vulnerable, because we have the distorted masculine energy that's happening. So definitely meditation should be put into use of being able to communicate from a place of really wanting to know, you know, where we have the Hierophant, you know, really trying to understand the situation, really dissecting this situation and really coming to a full understanding. Perhaps you may learn something new about the person, maybe learning something that they're perhaps going through that you didn't know before. So definitely communicating will be needed. Also, I feel like this may be about communicating your wants and needs, because remember that everyone can read your mind. Okay, I don't care how psychic you are. You may get bits and pieces, but we're not complete. We're like fluid. We're hearing every bit, you know, what's going on in people's heads. You know, so people can read your mind. So you definitely would need to communicate and say, you know, this is what I want from this relationship. You know, just what you want honored. You get what I'm saying? And that could be boundaries, setting boundaries in place, and just letting, you know, the people in your life know, this is a boundary I don't want you to step on or over. Okay, so now we're gonna go to like the stuff that's highlighting right now for this week. I feel like I have to use this one. I'm gonna use this one again and the other one. So first let's do this one. So saw this one, and this one, see, divine wisdom. So this is accessing that wisdom, as I was saying with the Hierophant, you know, really accessing that inner knowledge, that all-knowing, all-loving. Because when we have divine wisdom, we have like that open heart, you know, like we say, we're like that open book, and we can be vulnerable, we can be transparent, because it's all coming from a place of love and compassion and truly wanting to understand. And, you know, as I was saying with the Hierophant, you know, because the teacher is wise, so definitely learning from your experiences from the past. Also, if you can pick up certain techniques that can help you presently, like dealing with people, perhaps knowing how to converse, perhaps knowing how to have a productive argument, discussion, a healthy discussion, a healthy argument. So perhaps doing that kind of research, you know, with the Hierophant, we have learning. So perhaps digging into about relationships, like what could you do to improve your relationship, your communication, how to deal with someone who's aggressive, who's not feeling connected right now, they're feeling like all sort of distorted, you know, really educating yourself on what you can really do to help your situation. Okay, and so let's see what else comes up for that. I saw this one, let's see what this is. Okay, we have life purpose. So I feel like this definitely has to do about karmic stuff. So definitely this week, when it comes to the week of Valentine's and love and friendships, I feel like, and we have the books, so I feel like this could definitely be linked to the Akashic records and the Hall of Records on certain karmic contracts that we have made for ourselves. So we definitely may feel and see these things happening this week, especially when it comes to the people in our life and our connections. So definitely there needs to be some type of awareness on if the situations you're going through are there, like that's where the deeper issue comes from. Like, are they stemming from something much more deeper, perhaps like on a spiritual level, you know, not just psychological, but on a spiritual level? Could these be things that are coming from the subconscious and they're projecting into your reality? Or, you know, these are lessons that we have written for ourselves, and there's just certain things that we need to learn. Okay, so let's see how the cosmos, Mercury retrograde, is supporting us. So let's see, I'm going to use this one. So let's see how the universe is supporting us. I saw this one. Let's see what this one is about. Okay, golden treasures. So this is about, really enough, this is about seeing the treasures in both the great and negative circumstances that we go through. That this is to take that the unfavorable things that happen, even though they may suck, that there is a lesson in those things. So, you know, it teaches you, like, if you're able to apply, you know, your wisdom, wanting to, that kind of awareness, it teaches you that even in uncomfortable situations, you know how to be uncomfortable. You know how to be comfortable in this uncomfortable situation. Okay, like, you know how to be in awareness, how to step back and go, okay, you know, just applying that. So it teaches you that even in unfavorable circumstances, you can still find lessons that you can apply to the future. And this also is also about accepting the ebb and flow of life, accepting that sometimes if things don't work, we may not like them, it may hurt and everything, but we also have to come to an acceptance so we can heal and move forward. So let's see how it's the cosmos. I saw this one. And we have the heart compass. So basically this is definitely telling you to open your heart and follow your heart. And if you see with the life purpose, it also has the green, and it sort of looks like similar to the compass if you see it. Okay, so this is about following your heart and your life purpose, and just letting things happen the way they're supposed to, as long as you're doing your part in the sense of being more aware of the things that are happening and taking a more mature approach and just following what you genuinely feel in your heart. I feel like everything will settle down and be more balanced and come to light, and you definitely will learn. And there is a power when it comes to accepting situations. Sometimes we can become codependent on others, and just knowing and learning how to accept situations when they fall out of our lives, or whatever is happening, makes it easier for us to understand like the deeper meaning of life. Okay, so let's see what the hopes are. I feel like I'm gonna go with that same deck again. So what are the hopes that we have for this week? I saw this one. Okay, see? Wisdom, nature's wisdom. So just being able to access that wisdom, you know, like just that hope of not flying off the hinges and not going back into old patterns, because, you know, we're trying as a collective to work on these old patterns and self-sabotage behaviors. So our hopes is to really to be able to access that wisdom and know that every decision that we've made thus far in this situation, that it was all from a place of wisdom and not from a place of self-sabotage and just triggering and just all this stuff that's happening. You get what I'm saying? So there is hopes of just wanting to be wise and approach things on a more mature level. Let's see what the fears are. Oh, I saw this one, and we have again embracing meditation. So I feel like this is the fears of not being able to connect, not being able to understand the stuff that's happening, and still being in that kind of confusion and like turning our backs away from the situation and just not completely understanding it. So there could be, and just overall wanting to know what's going to happen, like if it's going to come to an end, or if that's just a stepping stone into something better, you know, perhaps a renewal of like connections, if reconciliation, or if it really is just going to just die out. So there is like that fear of no connection, you know, just not being able to come to that conclusion. So let's see what the outcome is. Let's see what we're going to go with. I'm gonna go with this one. So let's see what the outcome is. If we follow the advice and we do things right. Look at that. How weird is that? Okay, can't make this shit up. Look, love. Love, 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 love. Right? Opening the heart chakra, following the heart. So there's a lot of heart stuff happening, which is perfect, I think, for the Valentine's week with friends and lovers and connections. So if we follow, what could we expect? And I saw these two actually, so let's see what these two are about. And we have, okay, the silver waterfall. So this is about raising the vibration, you know, renewal, and just, you know, you see all this beautiful stuff happening in the rainbow, and just having hope and breaking out of like that kind of stagnant energy, that kind of like just chaos energy that happens when Mercury retrograde. And we have the garden. So you see how beautiful this garden is. Like this is like the nourishment. You know, if you take all this into consideration and you actually apply it, you know, you can expect being able to water your own garden and just have abundance and just overall healthy, nourishing place to be in, whether that's within yourself or your connections and, you know, relationships. Okay. So that is the end of this week's Pleiadian Starcast. I hope it resonates and I hope it helps you in some way. If you appreciate this video, you like my content, feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And feel free to join me also on my other social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram at Pleiadian Star Healer. I wish you an enormous amount of blessings for the week. Try not to fight, okay? Really try to apply a spiritual wisdom, mental, emotional wisdom, and maturity. I wish you so much love, and may you get to live the life that you were meant to live. Bye-bye.